What up, people? This is Bunjo. This video is going to be about travel tips and how to avoid scammers in Marrakech, Morocco. How to make your trip to Morocco a little more pleasant so it doesn't feel overwhelming and suffocating and feels like everybody's out to get you, you know? It's actually not that bad. So here, let's get into the video. The first tip is don't come to Morocco expecting it to be super cheap like Asia or south of Africa or Argentina, because it's not. It's not, people. If you want to go to a sit-down restaurant to order a tagine, it's about 10 euros. Now that's almost more expensive in Croatia than it is here. I think it is more expensive actually. So, and you do get a lot of food, but I would say the cheapest thing here maybe is the clothes. The clothes are cheap. You can get shirts from these guys for 50 dirham, which is 5 euros, but they're just a run-of-the-mill Africa shirt with the on a Hanes shirt or something, you know, printed on, you know what I mean? So it's not really that much of a deal. So don't come to Morocco thinking it's super cheap, because it's not. You'll go broke quick. You know how much money you can spend in a day? It's easy to spend money. You can go through money like crazy here. Trust me, it's easy. The second tip is don't come to Morocco thinking all the hustlers are scammers and everybody's out to get you, because they're not. The hustlers have to start at a high price because that's their culture. They have to bargain. Bartering is part of the culture here. So don't be afraid to say, if they say 400, don't be afraid to say 30% of the value. Like I would say 50 dirhams. That's what I would say. That's what I'd start off with and work my way up to about 80. 100 max, but 80 is probably the go-to price if they say 400. If they say 400, go to 80. That's what I would say. 80 or 100. You can get them down. Trust me. Bartering is part of the culture here. Don't feel like they're trying to scam you, because that's not a scam. A scam is when they take money off you and don't give you anything in return. Now that's a scam. This is called hustling, bartering. It's part of the culture, people. Don't be afraid to walk away from a deal either. The third thing on the list is you'll see people in Jema El Efna Square with a monkey on a chain with cobra snakes and rattlesnakes everywhere. They'll come drape snakes on you. Next thing you know, you're looking at the juice stand, a monkey sitting on your shoulder. You know what happens? They take your camera, take pictures, take videos, and then at the end they ask you for 400 dirham, 500 dirham they asked me for. And I said, are you on glue, my friend? Are you on glue? 50 euros for taking a picture with a monkey? Bro, get out of town. With those guys, now that's a scam, because they force it on you and they do give you something back, but it's not what you ask for. Sometimes you're just walking by, you have a camera, you're vlogging, and they'll see that you're vlogging and they're in the picture and you're not videotaping them at all, but they think that you're videotaping them. So what they'll do is come up to you and say, hey, you owe me money. Just walk away. It's cool. They'll argue with you, they'll yell at you, call your names and say stuff like that, but it's cool. And as for if you accept to take a picture and to see the snake and play with them or whatever you want to do, play with the monkeys, take pictures, they'll still tell you 500. I think you can just give them whatever you want. I gave him 50. I already had in my mind I was gonna give him 50 and then walk away, because I took a picture with a snake, right? So I took 50 dirham and I gave it to them, and they asked me for 500. I was like, man, you're on glue, brother. You're on glue. You're high on that cat, that Ducat, buddy. You Ducat. And I'm like, so I gave him 50. They called me names. They tried to force me. They grabbed me, and I just gave him 50 and I walked away. I said, adios, amigos, and that was it. And they accepted it. So don't be afraid to walk away if they ask you, and also don't be afraid to just give them whatever you want. It's pay what you will. You don't have to worry about what they ask for. If you have 20, give them 20. They're just gonna call you names and you just walk away. Simple as that. That's the third one. The fourth one is, if you're taking a taxi, the taxis here are called grand taxis. Now that doesn't mean big taxis or extra large vans or anything. So if you got a family of 5, that does not mean big taxi, big van taxis. It's just the company's name. They're the little yellow taxis here, and they'll try to scam you too. They'll actually try to scam you. If you go in the cab and say, oh, I want to go to El Badi Palace, they'll drive you around town. Next thing you know, you owe 400 dirham. and you can't say anything because you took the ride without asking, make sure you have a concrete price before you get into the cab, or just tell them to turn on the meter. The meter is the safest way because it measures how long you go and how much it costs. It's simple. But I like doing it like, here's 50 dirham if they don't say no. I mean, if they say no, then walk away. But that's the fourth tip. This cabs in every country will scam you, and it's no different from here. These guys will scam you if you're not careful. Make sure you have a concrete price at the beginning or the meter's on. That's another tip to not get scammed. The fifth tip is, don't be scared of the people. Everybody thinks when they come to Morocco, they're all trying to get a buck off you. They all want to gain something off you. They all want something off you. They're trying to get you. They're after me. Everybody's after me, and it suffocates you and worry. You're worried to death, you know, of the people. You're scared of the people. No matter what you hear on the news too, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. These people are very friendly. Some of the friendliest people here, actually, I've met in my travels are here. If they're not trying to hustle or sell you something in Jamal El Fna Square, they'll be more than happy to help you out and give you directions if you need so, tell you what to do, or anything really. My best choice, my best option for you guys, if you guys come to Morocco, especially Marrakech, I would ask the women and the police officers for the help. The women will always guide you in the right way. The women are very nice and very honest, and they respect men, so they tell you where to go and they give you the right directions. They lead you in the right way. And the police officers are very kind. It's not like America where you got to worry about the police officers, or South America where they're gonna charge you all this money, you know, fine you. They'll be like, oh, you just walked over an ant, you just killed an ant, that's 500 euros. You know, they're not gonna be like that. So they're actually very kind. You can stop. They most of them speak English, and if they don't, you just point to a map and say, where's this, how do I get there, and he'll direct you. So it's pretty good. The cops here are very good. The sixth tip on the list is danger. Is it safe in Marrakech, Morocco? I've walked by myself through the back alleys, through the main square, through the parks, all at nighttime, during the day, and I'll tell you this, it's very, very safe. I can leave my camera on my table while I have a coffee. No one's gonna come and try to scoop it. I mean, sure, there's lots of people. It's busy. So I think that you could get pickpocketed, but I still don't think it's like that. I don't think they might have petty crime, but you're not gonna get jumped. You're not gonna get stabbed. I heard a lot of rumors here that they'll try to lead you in a back alley and they'll all jump you and take your money and all this stuff. But so far, from my experience, none of that is true. And I think it's very safe, one of the safest places. And this is North Africa, so North Africa is a little different. It's safer, and well, the people here say that this is the rich part of Africa. Tunisia, Egypt, this place, and all the North countries. So this is like the more upscale African country, that's what they say. The seventh thing on this list, the seventh tip, is if you hear this loudspeaker like Allah Akbar, don't be alarmed. That's not like a cry for danger or something's happening that's bad or whatever. That's just a prayer. You'll hear it 5 times a day. I think it starts at 7 in the morning. I think I forget when I hear it. I hear it every day, and it wakes you up every day at like 7 in the morning, and you'll hear it throughout the whole day, like 5 times, I think. So it's not bad. It's not a bad sign. It's just a prayer. That's what they do in the countries of Islam. They have these prayers on the loudspeakers. You hear it everywhere. It wakes you up. It stops. It's not quiet anywhere. You see all the speakers in the air. You go to a Kutubia mosque, there's speakers on it, and that's where everybody sits and waits for the prayer so they can take the video of it. Yeah, so it's just a prayer, guys. So don't be alarmed if you hear that. You'll hear it a lot, trust me. If you're here, you'll hear it at least. If you're here for 3 days, you'll hear it 15 times easily. And I'm not even lying. So don't be scared of the prayers over the loudspeakers. The 8th thing on this list is actually the 8th thing on this list is actually what's safe and what's not safe to eat. From my experience, all the meat and everything is safe. If you're a salad person or a vegetarian, you got to make sure that that the veggies are either cooked or that they're thoroughly washed, and you got to make sure of it because you'll be on the toilet the whole 3 days after that. So you got to watch out for that. So if you're a meat person, it's okay. Meat's your friend here. Meat is always cooked, it's nice, and you'll always have a good time with the meat. Meat. I'm a meat guy, so I don't have to worry about getting sick off vegetables. And fruits, you got to make sure the fruits are washed or peeled. If they're all peeled and washed, then it's pretty good for you. So watch out for the fruits and vegetables here. That's my 8th tip. The 9th tip is for all you booze heads, you booze hounds out there, and beer drinkers and wine drinkers. It'll be very hard to find a restaurant that serves wine or booze or any kind of alcoholic beverages, or even stores. If you go down all the side streets, they're all halal. That means they don't serve booze, especially in Jemal Alefna Square. They will not serve booze. They only serve booze outside of the square, and not everywhere outside. So you got to ask a few places. Marbuka is one, and there's a few sports bars that serve booze here to sit down. There's a restaurant here, but by Katubia Mosque they definitely don't, because it's halal again, and it'll be hard for you. If you want to buy booze, the best way is to go to Carrefour, the French supermarket here. If you go to Carrefour, you can buy the booze there. You can buy booze there in the basement, and don't expect it to be cheap either, because this is a country of Islam, a halal country. They will not be cheap. They actually cost more for a 6-pack of small cans than it does for a 6-pack of big cans in Croatia. It costs 10 euros for a 6-pack of cans. In Croatia, it only costs about 4 euros. So there's a big difference there. So don't come here expecting to find booze and get drunk everywhere. That's not it. You have a better chance of finding hashish and cat and weed and all that kind of stuff instead, because trust me, nobody's asked me if I wanted booze, but a million people asked me if I wanted hashish or weed. Or he's like, you want to burn a spliff, bro? You want to burn a spliff? And I swear to God, that's true. The 10th and final tip is to never take the first price they offer you, because the first price is about 70% too high, and it's way too high usually. My advice is, if there's no prices on it, you can barter. But if it's a shop, like a commercial shop or a grocery store, it's pretty much a fixed price. And if there's signs on it that says 20 dirham, 5 dirham, 30 dirham, it's probably a fixed price. You're not going to get any cheaper. I've watched it a million times. People said no, they can't, because that's the bottom price. They just don't like bartering themselves, so they just put the price out, and if you accept it, you do. If you don't, you don't. That's simple like that. So that's what they expect. And the bonus one is, come to these parks, these gardens, and get away from the city life, because if you get away from the city life, it'll let you breathe a little bit, give you a little time to rejuvenate and get ready for the outside again. Look at these parks. They're nice and tranquil. There's a bunch of them, so it's beautiful. You wouldn't expect there to be these beautiful lush green parks everywhere in a city of the desert, the red desert, the red city, desert city, you know, but they are. So get away from the busyness of Marrakech, Jemal Alefna, and come to these gardens and relax. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share. And these were my tips for visiting Marrakech, Morocco.